My name is Jane Madrigal, and I'm a local Chicana artist and muralist. I've been born and raised in the community. Been painting murals for about, gosh, I hate to say, but like over 25 years. I'm excited to get started. It, with creating the design is always like the longest and hardest part of the process. Um, because for me, like I have to be able to see it in my mind's eye, you know, and getting to that point. So it can be a bit of a challenge, but once it happens, it's like magic. And that's, I guess, ultimately that's what it's about. It's about making magic, right? With our paints and our ideas of these images. And so for the mural that I produced for you all, I really like the idea that it had such a high visibility. The fact that, I mean, just where it's at and who's going to see it on Walzem is significant. I've painted murals in various places. Obviously, you want something high profile, but there's certain places where yeah, it's important. And so one of the things that I took away from going out there, but also from our meeting we had, our very first meeting, was the idea of you all wanting to bring in people from the community. You wanted to, spoke of like wanting new people to come in, you wanted, people to feel welcomed. And you wanted those people to kind of be those people in the neighborhood. And so keeping that in mind, obviously you want to do something very visually captivating. So even if they don't know, just the fact that you've got this beautiful work of art, they're going to want to know. From those meetings, you all were given questions and asked to give your input. And there were certain subjects or themes that kind of come up consistently. And I went ahead and kind of started mulling over how it would look using various ideas and themes that were presented. I really wanted to do the crossroads because I thought it was just, seemed like an obvious thing, right? But when I laid out the crossroads, I winded up chopping them in half, and that's where you get the table image. The way I laid it out, yeah, I was trying to get those crossroads in, but instead it became a table. And I was given, images of an annual meal that you all have. I can't remember if it's a Thanksgiving meal. I'm going to just assume it is. But I know you always get together for the holidays for this meal. And then thinking about my own culture and where I come from, having those family meals were important. I know we've kind of come away from that in this, generations have passed. But to me, turning those crossroads into that meal where people are coming together, I just felt they would look a lot more inviting. But coming together for a meal, it's like everybody is welcome and there's no pressure. It's like we're here to enjoy ourselves. One of the focuses that was kind of brought up, and also in the information that was given to me, was the idea of focusing on like the children, the young people. And so you see in the mural that in there's this flowers, because somebody had brought up flowers, and I thought as the sun and the warmth, so I went with the sunflowers. Sunflowers are also flowers that clean the dirt. So like, say for instance, I mean, you can plant sunflowers, and if you have toxins in your dirt, it's going to eliminate those toxins. I don't know if you know that, but anybody who does gardening or is connected to any kind of, ecological justice will know that the sunflowers, the importance of the sunflowers. So, and now, in case you ever need to clean up the soil around you, you can just plant sunflowers and they'll do the job. But it's also like, this big flower that's connected with the sun. And for me, in what I was taught growing up, and also by my mentors, was that the flower has a direct relationship with the sun, right? And as a result, flowers bring us joy. So there's a connection to all that. So I wanted to also just give a feeling of being joyful with those flowers and the children in the front. I like the monarch butterfly. I mean, who doesn't, but any butterfly to me is a symbol of transformation. So nobody mentioned the butterflies, but I threw them in. I hope you don't mind. Yeah, just because that's always for me a symbol of transformation, going from one state to another, from your caterpillar stage to this beautiful butterfly. And sometimes you don't recognize who you were once you make that transformation. And so that in itself, I feel is very symbolic. So the people eating on the table are a combination of, and I don't know who they are, and hopefully, we'll see. Hopefully it'll stay that way, because, but it's a combination of people that I found in pictures that were given to me, and then just people I found on the internet that I could fill in with. And this maquette is really small. It's a 1 inch by 1 foot. So for 1 inch of this drawing is 1 foot on your wall. So to be able to develop the faces the way I want to, it was a challenge, obviously, to do a tiny face this big. But I can assure you, once it gets onto the wall, yeah, some of these faces will look a lot better. Wait, let's talk about the hope. Sorry about that. So there were different words that had come out, and love, what's another one? Love, peace, compassion, and hope was one of them that had consistently come out. And I felt like right now, that was, as far as being able to reach out to people who are passing by this mural, just to be able to see that word hope, instead of love. Love is love, but hope, I feel, is something that everybody kind of needs right now. And of course, the dove. I could not use the dove because it was like, yeah, that was one thing that I was like, everybody's gonna know if I don't put those doves in. Now, originally I had 2 doves, but I was told to go ahead and try to rework it with 1. And I think it came out pretty good. Obviously, we all know what the dove represents, the Holy Spirit. I tried to make the, I guess it is the Holy Spirit, that round, I guess it's not really a halo, but yeah, just to make it look like it's vibrating. One of the things I'd like to do, and I'm going to go ahead and put it out there since you're recording, is with that dove, I want to paint it and then put a thin coat or maybe a thick coat of glow in the dark paint. So the mural faces south, if I'm not mistaken. The dove, if it's got glow in the dark paint, so you wouldn't be able to see it in the day, but at night, when people drive by, you'll be able to see the dove glowing in the dark. I thought that would be cool. So yeah, so I'm gonna put that out there. Let me know if you guys like that idea. And it would just be the dove, yeah, I think doing anything, I don't want to overdo it, I want it to be like a little surprise as well. So with color, I'm big on color. I think that's one of the things, as far as like being an artist, and having a style, is kind of what kind of gives me my style, is the fact that I like to use bold colors. And oddly enough, one of my favorite complementary color schemes is orange and blue. I don't necessarily like orange and blue by themselves, but I feel that they come together quite nicely. And so, as you can see, I think the original image that I did, the style was a lot lighter, but I went ahead and made the colors a little richer so that it just felt a little warmer, or a little, less, I don't know, just felt like it had a little more life in it. And I did kind of struggle a little bit. This is a kind of a funny, not really funny, but I'm going to share it anyway. A little story about this mural, and a lack of believing in yourself, I guess, is I had this mural done and I thought it was great. But then I was starting to like have that self-doubt. And so I kept messing with it. And, when you have that self-doubt, you just stop and like maybe sleep on it and then go back the next day. But no, I kept messing with it. So I went from originally doing it in marker to going over it with color pencil. And then I was like, oh, I like the color pencil. So then I went over with paint. And then, but it wasn't like good paint. It was just, cheap poster paint. But by the second coat, everything fell off. It like flaked off. And I was back to my original faces in marker. And I was like, wow, there's nothing wrong with this. What was I thinking? You know what I mean? I went like 2-3 days of like, wow, okay, I'm gonna make it better. I'm still trying to make it better. Okay, I don't know if I'm making it better. And then it just falls off. And I'm like, there it is. You just, yeah, so it was a big lesson for me. I'm like, how old do you have to be before you believe in yourself, right? Trust that it's okay. So hopefully you all will like the mural, enjoy it. Um, I welcome any feedback, and if we're ready to move forward, I believe there's one city council meeting we have to go through, or one approval process. And I think once that's done, I can go around and show this maquette to the community. Once we install this mural, I guess my hope is that when people see it, that they do feel a sense of hope, and that they do feel welcomed, and that they do see your building as a place that they might want to go check out because, hey, they've got this mural on it, without really fully knowing, exactly, what's going on. I mean, yeah, so to be able to, instill a sense of hope in people in that neighborhood as they stop at that light, you feel the warmth of the mural, and maybe they can, I don't know, just feel a sense of belonging.